So a thought kind of come up in my mind, and maybe some other places have this. Here in North Carolina, we do not. And maybe places that are assisted suicide, maybe they have it. But we have basically two code statuses, full code and DNR. And I feel like we should have maybe not a code status, but just a status that says something like, no further measures, or, do not prolong life, or something like that. And the thought that I had come up with is, let's say that I have a debilitating stroke. Let's just say that it's from AFib. AFib can cause strokes, and there's various medications you can give for AFib. If I have this debilitating stroke and I live through it, but I'm now, paralyzed on one side or the other, but I have this code status that says something like no further measures, or I can't even think of a good term for it, but basically don't let me live forever debilitated. Go ahead and pull all of my cardiac meds, go ahead and take away all my AFib meds, and basically go ahead and start the hospice process. I may be healthy enough to where I don't go to hospice directly, but I'm debilitated. There should be a code status saying, I don't want to live in a nursing home. I know I just had this stroke. Well, I knew this stroke may happen, but go ahead and take me off all my meds and let me go. Maybe a quality of life code or something. If for instance you do have that stroke, take me off all my cardiac meds. Don't give me no heparin, no warfarin, no Plavix, nothing. Don't give me none of that. Just go ahead and say, Chris, you had a good run at it. Your code status says exactly what we need to do. Go ahead and go. Now, I have heard of like a living will, and they'll say things like do not intubate, things like that. But I mean, I don't really think we have anything that says go ahead and let me go. If I develop Alzheimer's real bad and I don't realize what I'm doing and I don't have any quality of life, just go ahead and pull all my meds, my metoprolols and lisinoprils, and let my blood pressure just skyrocket and let me go out. I don't think we have any code status like that. It's kind of like hospice, but at least locally, I don't know if this is nationally, but hospice really doesn't get called in until 6 months left. If you have 6 months left to live, or they feel that you have 6 months left to live, hospice will not come see you. They may do an evaluation, but that may be about it. So it would definitely be, I feel it would be beneficial to have this code status, this sort of code, like let me go code, quality of life code, whatever you want to call it. But maybe it's just me, I don't know. And the reason why I thought about this was there was I want to say it was a scientist, but he was a doctor out in Australia, and the man was like 102 years old or something like that. And he said that he was leaving Australia, and I think he was going to Sweden, but he may not have gone to Sweden. But he said he was going to Australia, or from Australia to a European country, to have himself assistedly suicide. So he doesn't look non-compliant. He just says, I'm 102 years old, I'm done with this, And that's another thing which kind of brought this to my mind is non-compliance. If you're non-compliant, your insurance may or may not cover certain things. I don't necessarily want to be non-compliant if I'm debilitated from a stroke, but I also don't necessarily want to live 35 years debilitated from a stroke. Does that make sense? Let's just say I'm in a car wreck and all my organs are good, but my brain don't work no more. but I have this code status that says, go ahead and pass my organs out to people who can use them. Don't let me linger, but you know, somehow I can still live, but I'm brain dead. You know what I'm saying? Terri Schiavo kind of ran into that when she was that court case. I won't say it was back in 05, but I feel like there needs to be a code status like that, and we just don't have one here. We have DNR and full code, and you know, of course, do not intubate and stuff like that. But it's not really, you know, I feel like there needs to be a step further, if that makes sense. But, you know, agree with me, disagree with me. Maybe you have it where you live. Maybe we have it where I live and I just don't know about it yet. But, you know, let me know. That helps. Thank you much.